Twice in 8 months, a Clinton, Missouri police officer shot and killed in the line of duty. KOMU 8 News at 6 starts now. Here's what's happening right now. We have new information on a shooting that left a Clinton, Missouri police officer dead. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jim Reek.
I'm Emily Spain. Thanks for joining us. 30-year-old Christopher Ryan Morton was killed while responding to a 911 call overnight. Clinton is southwest of Sedalia. We have live team coverage, and we begin with KOMU 8's Tyler Emery live in Clinton tonight.
That's right, Jim and Emily. I just wrapped up at the recent press briefing here at the Henry County 911 Dispatch Center. We spoke with Patrol Sergeant Lowe and the Henry County prosecuting attorney, and I did learn new information about what happened last night at the residence where Officer Morton was shot and killed. So we learned that the 911 call where two women were heard screaming in the background was not the address where the three Clinton police officers responded. The call was connected to the address in Clinton at the 306 Wind River Street address, but police later found out the call really came from about 15 miles away in Windsor. Now, the address that officers were dispatched to was the correct address, and they did respond accordingly to procedure once they arrived at around 9:22 last night. And when the officers got there last night, the resident Tammy Wedger, who lives there, came out and told officers that there was no issue and that there was no one else at the residence. But police officers entered the residence, and when they did so, that was when the gunshots started from suspect James Waters, who then eventually led and shot and killed Officer Morton. Even though it was the wrong residence, police say that they responded accordingly and followed the correct procedures. And they also said that Waters was connected to an unrelated rape case, that they were already looking for him and wanting to find out about his connection to that case. Tammy Wedger was also arrested today for possession of meth with the intent to deliver. Police say that they believe Tammy had been delivering meth out of her home for some period of time, and so she was arrested today, and her bond was set at $25,000. So far, we don't know. Police would not say how Waters died. They did say he died of a gunshot wound, but would not say whether it was self-inflicted or whether it was from the officers. They said that they won't release that information until an autopsy is done, and that the investigation is still ongoing, and they will keep us updated with all the answers to these unanswered questions. Reporting live in Clinton, Tyler Emery, KOMU 8 News.
Top officials all over Missouri are reacting to Officer Morton's death. Senator Roy Blunt released a statement saying Morton, quote, put his life on the line in service to his community and our nation. Attorney General Josh Hawley tweeted saying Missouri is grateful for Officer Morton's courage and dedication to protecting those in need. He truly gave the ultimate sacrifice. Senator Claire McCaskill's office tweeted saying she is praying for Officer Morton's family and loved ones.
There's been a tremendous outpouring of support online and in the community for the officer and the Clinton Police Department. Continuing our live team coverage is KOMU 8's Bryce Marlin, also live in Clinton.
Go. The Clinton community is in mourning after Officer Christopher Morton was shot and killed last night. This comes 7 months after the day that another officer, Gary Michael, was killed in the line of duty. KOMU 8 News reached out to the neighbors close to the scene, and they said they couldn't imagine something like this happening so close to home. Residents 3 doors down said they locked their doors and watched from their window, hearing steady gunfire for over an hour.
That just doesn't happen to our little town, you know. Gary Michael, last year, he was the first police officer I think we lost. And now another one, you know. I don't know what to think about it.
Members of the community said that they sent their condolences to the Morton family, and the healing process will take some time. The Elk Lodge will hold a ceremony next Monday to honor the life of Officer Morton. Live in Clinton, Bryce Marlin, KOMU 8 News.
A little more information now on the other Clinton officer who died last August on duty. 37-year-old officer Gary Michael was killed after pulling over an SUV for a traffic stop. Ian McCarthy, who was accused of killing Michael, pleaded not guilty to a first-degree murder charge. The Henry County prosecutor said last month he will seek the death penalty. We will continue to follow the latest out of Clinton. You can find all updates online at our website, KOMU.com. Earlier today, prosecutors charged a Fulton High School student for making a school threat. Tyra Pope allegedly made a statement in a classroom telling students not to come to school tomorrow. The 17-year-old faces a Class D felony for making a terrorist threat. Another student told school administrators about it, who then called police. This is the 5th school threat made in mid-Missouri since the Florida school shooting.
An investigation into Governor Greitens, led by a Missouri House committee, took place under secrecy today. The special committee met for more than 4 hours and released no details about what was discussed. Committee members held the meeting at the Jefferson City Police Department instead of the Capitol. They not only closed the door to the building, they also covered it with a black tarp.
Guys, I think you're wasting your time asking questions. Are you done for me? You're wasting my time asking questions. Are you done? No, it's not a waste of time. There will be a point in time in which you will know.
The committee has less than 40 days to finish its investigation and send a report recommending a course of action to the General Assembly.
Big news for Mizzou basketball fans. The NCAA tournament just got a whole lot sweeter for those Tigers watching. Michael Porter Jr. will play tomorrow. KOMU 8's Chris Trevino is live in St. Louis with the big news.
Michael Porter Jr. will be on the court for the Missouri Tigers when they play their first games here tomorrow afternoon, the SEC tournament. Cuonzo Martin, the Tiger coach, said today Porter came up to him last night after practice and said he was ready to go. Martin says he will not start Porter, but does plan to use him and that he can help the team with scoring, ball handling, and decision-making. Martin said it was up to Porter when he was ready. He said he gave his prize prospect a lot of space and time to make that decision. The Tigers will play here tomorrow about 2:30 against the winner of tonight's game between Vanderbilt and Georgia. That is just underway, and that means the tourney is underway. It's the first game of 5 days of basketball here at the Scott Trade Center, downtown St. Louis. We'll have another live report coming up shortly in sports, but for now, Chris Trevino outside Scott Trade Center.
The Missouri Public Service Commission heard arguments today for a statewide water rate increase. Missouri American Water is asking for a 13 to 15% increase. KOMU 8's Haley Jennings is here in the studio with reaction for and against.
As you might guess, customers opposed the increase, and a hearing today got heated. Missouri American Water's president says a price increase would repay the company for improvements.
Infrastructure and water and wastewater systems across the U.S. are really struggling to keep up with the needs and the investments that are needed across the state. So we have done as the very best job that we could, but we file rates to recoup those costs for those capital improvements.
American Water wants to charge every district the same flat rate, making it more affordable for all of its customers. But a lawyer for St. Joseph says its customers haven't had help from the rest of the state to pay for their improvements.
Paying for it since the year 2000 with no subsidies from other Missouri American customers. Now they want St. Joseph customers to help subsidize customers in other parts of the state.
Although people are able to say their opinion on this proposal, the final decision comes from behind that desk and is for the commission board to make. The PSC will hold 2 more meetings this week. The PSC could have a decision around May. In the studio, Haley Jennings, KOMU 8 News.
Well, we kept a lot of cloud cover today, and it sure was a cold one out there. Hopefully you bundled up before you headed out the door. Let's head over to Kenton to see if there are any warm days ahead. Kenton.
Emily, you're going to need to keep those coats handy here the next couple of days. Right now, looking at live.the-right first alert radar, just some flurries still moving through our northeastern viewing area. Those will exit here this evening, and it's still cold outside, right around the freezing mark for all of us here in mid-Missouri, and it is still a bit breezy, too. Sustained winds around 12 miles an hour in Columbia, gusting still close to about 20 to 25 miles an hour. We'll still have some of those breezes here overnight tonight, and we're feeling, of course, like 20s throughout mid-Missouri. So we're going to bundle up again tomorrow morning. Then we have warmer days ahead coming up for the weekend. I'm tracking that coming up later.
All right, Kenton, thank you very much. MU students got to bat at a car to relieve stress, but one mid-Missouri counselor says this isn't always the best option.